introduce myself and my colleague David, we will take you through the session today. So David Ike is a Senior Program Officer at Prosper Canada in the Program Delivery and Integration Department. And David focuses on technology-enabled financial empowerment solutions, which includes the Benefit Wayfinder. And I'm also in the same department as David, and I'm also a Senior Program Officer. And I work with community partners to help embed financial empowerment initiatives into their existing services. And I've also closely been involved in the development of the Benefits Wayfinder and the Disability Benefits Compass, which we'll take you through today. So David and I will begin by acknowledging that we are joining you from Toronto, which is situated upon traditional territories. The territories include the Wendat, the Anishinaabeg Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nations, and the Métis Nation. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. Today, the meeting place of Toronto is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work in the community on this territory. So now I'm going to take you through just a little bit of who we are at Prosper Canada, in case some of you are not familiar with us. Prosper Canada is a national charity, and we're dedicated to expanding the economic opportunity for Canadians who are living in poverty. And as Canada's leading financial empowerment champion, we work with partners in all sectors to ensure that Canadians, regardless of their income, have access to financial programs, products, services, and advice that they need to be able to build their financial well-being. So our agenda for today's presentation, we have an exciting one for you today. It's action-packed. And we'll go over the goals for our session and why these tools that we're going to take you through were created. We're going to share with you the Benefits Wayfinder, and we'll go through it with a live example. We're using a case study persona. We'll also give you a quick introduction to the newly launched back in November Disability Benefits Compass, which is the companion to the Disability Benefits Wayfinder, and it is a deeper dive on key disability benefits in Canada. And there are many different ways you can use the Benefits Wayfinder, and specifically we're going to mention tax clinics and how, if that's something that you do conduct or you're thinking of conducting, how you might use the Benefits Wayfinder in that capacity. And then at the very end, we'll just tell you about some access to benefits training that's available, and then we'll wrap up with our Q&A session. So our goals for today are twofold. We want you to be able to understand how you might be able to use the Benefits Wayfinder and the Disability Benefits Compass to help someone find benefits, help them learn how to apply, and where they can go to get help if they need help. And also learn about ways that you could integrate this tool with tax filing supports. So first, a little bit of context on why these two tools were created. It's really threefold: missed income, complex processes, and frontline need. So with mixed income, probably a lot of you are aware that there's over $1 billion in benefits. And yeah, that's billions, really hard to imagine, for low and moderate income Canadians that go unclaimed each year. And individuals are missing out on this really needed income, either by not filing their taxes or not accessing benefits that they may be eligible for. And not only does it have a negative financial impact, it can have an outreaching impact in terms of, impacting someone's health, losing housing, and not having proper food to eat. And with the COVID pandemic in the last 3 years, those who are living on low incomes, it's just made their life that much worse. Complex processes. I'm sure a lot of you have been involved in either yourself or helping others get government benefits and helping to fill out applications. And you'll know that they're often very complex and may not necessarily be written in plain language. And disability benefits are among the most challenging to navigate, mainly because they have different steps. You might have medical professionals that need to help. And also, we found that people are not even aware that those benefits exist, or even if they're eligible to get them. And then finally, frontline need. A lot of you are working one-on-one with people to help them with money topics, and that includes access to benefits. And Prosper Canada has worked with partners in the past at a predecessor to the Benefits Wayfinder, and through subsequent pilots have enhanced the tool, made changes, and built in training to make that tool that much more useful for you and for those who want to use it by themselves. So just a little bit of an overview on the Benefits Wayfinder before we get into the live demo. So this is an online tool, and as we mentioned, it's for Canadians who are living on low and modest incomes to find benefits that they might be eligible for and how they can go about applying for them. It's very simple. It has intuitive navigation, and you can also use it as a virtual guide for yourself or your staff. And as mentioned, it's been specifically written in plain language, so it's very easy to understand. It has benefits on people may be eligible to receive, which include federal, provincial, and territorial benefits. It is a one-stop shop. So in other words, you don't have to go searching multiple websites to find the benefits. They're all in one place. And there's 4 different ways that you can search for benefits, which David will take you through. And as mentioned, you can use it with client or they can use it themselves since it's very user-friendly if they have the capacity and the desire and the technology to do so. And we'd really love to thank our generous sponsors who have helped us create this tool, TD Ready Commitment, and supported as well by Maple Leaf Feed Opportunity, their Center for Food Security. So next, as David's going to bring up his Benefits Wayfinder, I'm going to just tell you the attributes of the persona, Aisha, who we're going to be using to demonstrate the features in the tool. So Aisha lives in Ontario. She's married. She's a mother of 2 young children, one who has a disability. She's a permanent resident of Canada. She's employed part-time, but she's hoping to find full-time work in the future. Right now, her income in total is just under $25,000 per year, and she's not up to date on filing her income taxes. She's worried about paying her rent and her bills, and if she does find a full-time job, she might have to look around to get childcare. So I'm going to pass it over to David, who's going to walk you through the features, and then when we get to it, use Aisha as the example. Over to you, David. I think your screen just popped away. Oh, there we go. Are you on mute?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Perfect, David. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'll be introducing today the Benefit Wayfinder. The objective of this tool is for Canadians to be able to get all the benefits that are available through the government, like Janet just said, my colleague. This tool can be accessed using 4 different methods. So when you come to the home page, subject to your province, you come to the top right and you select which province you're in. And because our personnel today is Aisha, and Aisha is presumed to be in Ontario, and so we're going to select Ontario as the province. Then you can either assess the benefits using your starting points or using the questionnaire, or you can come through all benefits, depending on which you find more convenient. And also you can come straight to the starting points on the home page and then select which starting points that best applies to you. So you either can maybe have need disability support, perhaps you're caring for a child or expecting a child or need some medical support. So this starting points just help you uniquely with the kind of situation you might be going through at the particular time.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So Janet will play the role of Aisha, our personnel today, our personnel today. So Aisha, are you up to date with your taxes?
No, I haven't done my taxes.
Okay. So Aisha has not filed her taxes. No. Um, Aisha, how old are you?
I'm between 30 to 49.
Okay. Aisha, what's your citizenship status in Canada?
I'm a permanent resident.
Permanent resident. Um, Aisha, are you working or where does your income come from?
Yeah, right now I'm working part-time, but I'm hoping to find full-time work.
Awesome. Aisha, how much does everyone in your household together make in 1 year?
I'm just under 25,000.
Awesome. Aisha, including yourself, how many people live in your home?
There's 4 of us.
Oh, thank you. Aisha, do you care for any children under the age of 18?
Yes, I have 2 young children.
Oh, thank you. Aisha, are you or is anyone in your household living with a disability?
Yes, one of my daughters has a disability.
Oh, okay. Aisha, where do you live? Are you renting, living in social housing, or own your own place?
Right now we're renting.
Okay, thank you. Aisha, are you expecting or are you pregnant?
No.
Okay. Aisha, what's your length of stay in Canada since the age of 18?
I've been here probably about 22 years.
Okay, awesome. Aisha, are you, your parents, or your spouse a Canadian veteran?
No.
No, okay. Aisha, do you have a parent or spouse who had lived in Canada and passed away?
No.
Okay. So awesome. So like you can see, Aisha has 43 benefit recommendations. So the next step would be to go on the dashboard. And on this dashboard, you see all the benefit recommendations that has been made for Aisha. So it's because she has answered a host of questions, we're able to draw in different varieties of benefits from benefits that have to do with disability, benefits that have to do with Canada Learning Bond, and 40 other benefits, 41 other benefits. So that's actually the interesting part of using the questionnaire. You get a lot of benefits where benefit recommendation, then you can choose from them. So the way the tool is designed is that each benefit you get a summary, or by citing it. So for instance, look at the Canada Learning Board. You see that the name of the benefit is there, and you get a quick introduction as to what the benefit is about. Then you also see how much you can get if you are eligible for this benefit. Then below you see what it takes to be able to apply for the benefit. Is it easy? Do you require tax? And what identifications that will be needed? So on the issue of whether the benefit is easy to apply for or not, we measure it by what are the steps you need to take. So for this particular benefit, the Canada Learning Board, we classify it as easy to apply, meaning you don't need too many steps. Perhaps you just do 1 or 2 steps, you'll be able to get the benefit, right? Then also, so if, for instance, Aisha is interested in the Canada Learning Board, she'll click in. So when she clicks on the link, she now goes into the tool proper and sees more about the Canada Learning Board. So each benefit is classified into 4 entries. So we have the introduction. So under the introduction of the benefit, it gives you further explanation as to what the benefit is about. Then each introduction has a link to the source site, that's the government site, whether the provincial or the federal government site where we got this benefit from. So that's eventually where you would land on to apply for the benefit. So each benefit has an introduction where it explains to you what the benefit's about, and primarily a link that takes you to the source site where you can then eventually apply for the benefits. Then after the introduction, we now have the eligibility section. So this section of the benefit entry on the tool explains to you what you what the eligibility criteria would be, what the government expects to be your situation for you to be eligible to access that particular benefit. Afterwards, we have the identification section of the tool where you see what you need to provide to be able to apply. Then finally, on the benefit entry in the tool, you now see how you can apply. So you see the different links that leads you to be able to apply for the benefits. So let's go back to the other recommendations. So from this point, you can also mark your benefit as seen, because Aisha will be able to see these recommendations after today. I'll show you how it's done. So she can mark it as seen, and she can also prioritize or categorize each benefit that she has looked at. So for instance, the Canada Learning Board, she could, so we have the low, the medium, and the high. So if she intends to come back and look at it further, she can prioritize it at high. Then she can also look at the next benefit. This is the registered disability savings plan. So if Aisha is also interested in it, she can mark it as high, high, and also mark it as seen. Marked as seen, meaning that when she comes back, the fact that she has marked it as seen, the marked as seen will not show on there anymore. So that will help her know that she has looked at it previously. And okay, this is the Canada Child Benefit. If, for instance, Aisha is already receiving this, she can come on here and say remove. So because she has said remove, that benefit will now go and be registered on the top left corner. You can see it here. It says removed. And if Aisha wants to send that benefit back to the list of benefits that she's entitled to or eligible to get, she can also come on here and send it back. Then Thereafter, when Aisha is done, she can also save her session, So by saving her session, she'll get a link. Let me do it. So by saving her session, she'll put her email here, so I'll put an email here, and send it, send it to myself. That Aisha can send it to herself. And if a community partner is supporting a client or Aisha, then so the community partner can send it to both Aisha and also send it to themselves. So when you send it, that link. Let me do it again. This ULR will be sent to Aisha's box and also sent to the inbox of the community partner. That's, for instance, if Aisha is not accessing the tool by herself, So thereafter, Aisha can come back to this page by using the ULR link, and it will bring her back to this page. Because after now, if, for instance, a community partner is supporting Aisha and needs to support somebody else, this screen, the community partner would need to clear my screen, this icon. So that means this page will not be available to Aisha or the community partner. So that's why it's important to save the link and send to Aisha's page and maybe to the community partners, the inbox, so that they'll be able to get the list of benefits, whenever Aisha wants to come back and see them. Then also, if, for instance, Aisha needs further support, subject under each province, we have partners that Aisha can reach out to, that can support. Like in Ontario, there are partners that Aisha can reach out to. So this is the list of partners in Ontario that Aisha can reach out to, that can help her with applying with the benefits that she has decided to go on with. So she can contact them, and all the support she needs, she can get from these individual agencies that are in Ontario. So Aisha will not feel like overwhelmed or not supported. So if she needs anything, she can call up any of these partners by going to the help page. Then afterwards, we have the agency help page. And also, it's good to note that this tool it's also available in English. So in English and French. So in case you need the French version, you can also access it by coming to this icon and then clicking it. Then under the agency portal, we have free trainings. Then we have this also we have an online webinar, like a recorded webinar in English and French, of how to also use this tool. You can also avail that tool, or that webinar. You can go and watch it. It's recorded webinar in English and French as to how you can use this tool. And we have foundation, Prosper Canada's Foundation of Access to Benefit course, which you can also apply for and get more training on financial empowerment. Then then there's this section on who can the benefit finder help. Sorry. So like we said earlier, this tool can help people who are in different transitions in life. Perhaps somebody who just had a baby, somebody who just moved to Canada, somebody who just lost their job. So these categories of people are those that this tool will be very helpful to. Then people who haven't filed taxes. So we have resources also on the agency page that help people who have not been able to file their taxes. So like we know, filing taxes is a major gateway to accessing government benefits. So it's a gateway and it's also a barrier. So when people don't file their taxes, it cuts down the number of benefits they can access. So we have resources on here that can support people who want to file their taxes. So we have agency partners that people can go to that can help them with their taxes. Then also we have action plans. So there are templates that Aisha that anybody can use that would help them be able to file their taxes or plan how they'll file their taxes. Let me open up this and see. Okay, no, it's not opening. Okay, so there are templates that people can use and organize how they file their taxes. Then we have other tools like Trove. Trove is another very great tool that we have, under the agency portal that can help you with financial literacy and training. I advise we also look at that page. Then we have the guide to key benefit, guides to key benefit. This is another great tool that can help anybody who is trying to assess benefits. Every province has key benefits that most people should be eligible to. So this tool helps you be able to get at first glance what are the very very low hanging fruit, low hanging benefits that one can access. So we call this tool the key benefits you may be eligible to. So I'd also advise we take good we look at this tool, this part of the agency portal, and finally, you can help us share this tool, by sending this to your partners, through your organizational page. Thank you very much. Yeah, Janet.
Great. Thank you, David. So now I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to take you through the partner or companion tool to the Benefits Wayfinder called the Disability Benefits Compass. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. So you'll see it looks very similar to the Benefits Wayfinder, and you can link back and forth between the two tools. So within the Benefits Wayfinder, there is a starting point called the Disability Support, which has a wide range of disability benefits, and you can link back to this tool. And the difference between this one and the Benefits Wayfinder is that because disability benefits are very, very complex, one of the most difficult to apply for in terms of the complexity and the number of steps and the number of people that you might need to get involved in completing the forms. This tool was created to help people who either work with people with disabilities to try to get these key benefits, or caregivers, family members, or organizations as well who support access to benefits. And it's focusing on the 4 key disability benefits that, at a minimum, if someone is not aware of these, they should be. And if they are eligible for them, then they definitely should get these first. Then they can always go back to the Benefits Wayfinder and look at the other disability benefits beyond these 4 that they might also be able to get, as well as the many other benefits that David showed you in the tool. So just to take you through this, similar to the Benefits Wayfinder, you can select the province that you're in. And what it does is it has, as I mentioned, 4 key benefits. So as an example, for Ontario, you're going to get whatever the key provincial or territorial disability assistance is for where you reside. And then everybody is going to get the same 3 federal benefits: the Canada Pension Plan Disability Benefit, the Disability Tax Credit, and the Registered Disability Savings Plan. And the key about the disability tax credit, for those who might not be aware, is that this is considered a gateway benefit. And what we mean by that is it's a benefit that once you have this certificate, it opens the door to other benefits that you might be able to get. And Registered Disability Savings Plan is one of them. So that's why we're saying, at a minimum, these are ones that should be considered for eligibility before you would even venture to the other ones. So to take you through just to how you would navigate, you'll see down here at the bottom right, there's a Need Help button. And there's also a help button on the top screen. This is similar to the Benefit Wayfinder in that if you have started to go through this tool and you started an application, but you get stuck at any point, you can go in here and see for where you're residing, so your province or territory, where you can go to for help. And it'll list organizations that have identified themselves as someone can go to for free. And everyone that we have in here and in the Benefits Wayfinder is free. So we don't put anyone in here that's going to be charging anything to those who need help. If you go back to the main screen, assuming someone has just landed on here, one thing that we want people to realize is that we have these important information boxes in light blue. And these have been identified by those who have gone through the process. So I should mention that this site was co-developed by people living with a disability, as well as 3 of our partners in British Columbia as part of a pilot project. The partners are Disability Alliance BC, Plan Institute, and Social Research and Demonstration Corporation, and many people with disabilities. And this was something that they identified that, put up front things that are important before someone goes too far throughout the website. If someone's not sure where to start, there's a really nice caption video that was written and filmed by our Disability Alliance BC partner, which talks about the 3 federal benefits as well as their provincial benefit. There's also website instructions that someone can go through. So as mentioned, you'll come in and you'll get, for your province or territory, your 4 benefits. And you'll see here right up front, there's important information before you even begin applying. And this was something that was identified that one of the main barriers for people with a disability who are going to try to get up benefits is a lot do not have a dedicated doctor or medical practitioner who can properly complete the form. So this will give you, if you click here, it'll take you to a listing by province and territory of where someone can go to try to find a doctor or a medical practitioner. So very important before they even begin. So I'm going to take you through the disability tax credit as an example of how you'll see this. So similar to the Benefit Wayfinder, it's going to be like a little description of what the benefit or the tool is. It'll tell you what the dollar amount is. And then when you go in, it'll have a little bit more description, again, with whatever important information right up front for someone to consider. And then very similar to the Benefit Wayfinder, of introduction, eligibility, and in this case, we have a step-by-step application for this. And this was something that came out of when we were working with people with disabilities and our partners, that even though you can get this information in terms of the source information at the government site, this has value add information added in here. So based on their experience going through this process many, many times, within the step-by-step application process, which I'll show you in a moment, we've embedded from their knowledge, and we've also got experts across the country as well for the other provinces and territories, tips that they want to say at each step, frequently asked questions that they've encountered as they've been helping people or apply for these benefits, resources that they've developed or that they've directed us to that can be very beneficial, and I'll show you some of them as well. And then importantly, after you apply. So this is something a lot of people we found with the disability benefits in particular, is that a lot of people are denied right up front, and maybe even multiple times, and they think that's the end of the road. But in here, we'll describe what you need to do if you're approved, and again, what you need to do if you're denied. It's not the end of the road. At the end, there's a compilation of all the frequently asked questions that you'll get through the step-by-step. And again, a compilation of the resources throughout that step-by-step. So let's get started. So again, you have your introduction. And again, the blue box is a warning. So it's giving you a little expectation of what to expect. In this particular case, it's telling you that it could be several months from start to finish in this process. A lot of people get discouraged and they think it might be too onerous or too complicated, but hopefully having this step-by-step and with the tips and with the knowledge of those who have gone through this, it'll make it that less painful. So you'll see there's a number of questions here that those who have gone through find that are frequently come up. And then if we go to eligibility, similar to the Benefit Wayfinder, all the links are live and they will all go to the government source. So if you want to get more detail, you will get it at these links. Again, any questions at this stage that come up, and then any tips that they think are important for you to know about at this point. And I'm going to mention that we have what's kind of unique. For each of the benefits in this tool, you're going to see what we call resource tiles. And these are pieces of information related to that point in the process that, again, those who are gone through this process and are familiar with it want to kind of highlight to you right off the bat important information at your fingertips that you don't have to go digging for. So to give you an example, in here for the disability tax credit, we have here, what happens if I need help? So this will take you directly to where you can get the support. How to find a doctor or nurse practitioner who will work with you. As we said, that's one of the key barriers, is not having a medical practitioner. How you can help your medical practitioner complete the DTC medical form. And through the many, many years of learning of those who we've worked with, they've come to know what is expected by those who are scrutinizing the application forms on the other side. And we have direct you to the tools that they have created. So for example, there's a disability tax credit tool that you can link directly to that was co-created by Disability Alliance BC and some other of their partners. And it's a really user-friendly tool where you can go through step by step and put in the information on your disability, and it'll prompt you for the impact to your daily living. And at the end, it pumps out a beautiful report that you can either print or send by email that you can hand over to your doctor to help them complete the form. So I've actually used it myself for some family members and found it to be very user-friendly. If we go back and move on to the apply, you'll see that it's step-by-step in application, and it's done very user-friendly. So for example, step 1, the very first thing is, do you have the form T2201 to fill out and sign? Whenever you select yes, it's going to take you to each of the next steps. If you select no or I'm not sure, it's going to take you to what you need to do to get it. And it'll describe all the different ways that someone could get a form T2201. And then, based on, again, the experience of our experts that we've used to develop the tool, what they recommend to keep in mind at different sections of the application form. And again, frequently asked questions as applicable for that step. So if I continue all the way down to assuming someone's successfully gone through this, so now what happens? So now they're getting into after you apply. And after you apply, it's going to give a little blurb on what to expect, how long is this going to take? Should I be checking on the status myself? And steps on what to do. And then more detail, if you're approved, if you received your documentation that you've been approved, like, am I done? What's next? This will go through and give and highlight some key things that those experts suggest that you look into. And again, if your application is denied, what's going to happen? Now, as I mentioned, a lot of this is on the government website, but this is adding in that extra knowledge of those who have gone through the process and have been used to helping people go through the denial process. And again, the compilation at the end of the resources and the frequently asked questions. So if I look up at the top, you'll see some additional things on the menu. There's the glossary, and this glossary goes through all of the benefits and pulls out key words or phrases that are within the applications that were, important things to understand what they mean in one spot. And same with the resources. Again, the help will go by the benefit that you're looking at. So if it was the Ontario Disability Support Program that you're interested in getting help, it'll list the organizations. Again, the Canada Pension Plan Disability, it'll list the organizations that can help. And like to say, similar to the Benefit Wayfinder, if you or you know of an organization that does help and can provide free support in any of these benefits in terms of people trying to apply for them, please do let us know and we will vet it and then add you to the list here or add them to the list if it's appropriate. So it's not a static list. We'd like to continually add it, similar to the Benefit Wayfinder. If you know of any of the other benefits where people can help with, we definitely would like to continue to add organizations that can help people free of charge. And then you'll see there's a feedback, and then there's a little pop-up down here. Because this is still in pilot in our BC area, we are still getting feedback from people on what they think and what their experience is with this website. So please do fill that out if you would like, but again, it's not mandatory. And I think just one other thing I would like to mention is that this had a full accessibility review done it to make sure that it's fully accessible for anyone who's going to be using this. And one feature it has that the Benefit Wayfinder doesn't have, which was requested from an accessibility perspective, was light and dark mode. So it'll have that if someone finds it better visibility to view, you can flip back and forth. And again, it's in English and French, similar to the Wayfinder. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'll ask Jenny to bring back up the presentation and we can continue on from there. Let's see. Great, thank you. So you've seen the Benefit Wayfinder, and David took you through, different ways that you can search for benefits, if either for someone using it themselves or for someone who's supporting somebody else. But now we just like to focus on, some additional ways that this tool can be used. So as mentioned, you can use it yourself. So if you're yourself looking for information for yourself or a family member, or if you're in an organization and you want to use it as a training tool, it's very beneficial for a quick refresh if you're already familiar with some benefits, but you need to just sort of remind yourself on them. Or if you're interested in a category for a client. So for example, someone just lost their job and you're saying, oh, you know what, off the top of my head, I can't really remember the benefits. You can go in specifically and use it that way. Also for new staff coming in, we've had some of the pilots that have used it in the past, the predecessor of this tool, said it was really interesting that it brought new staff members up to date pretty quickly on categories of benefits and the types of benefits that are in those categories. You can use it directly with community members. And there's the two categories. You'll notice when we did the persona that one of the questions was, did Aisha file her taxes? And as David mentioned, a lot of the benefits, you do need to file taxes to be eligible to even apply for them. So first off, if you have people coming in either through you're going to support them on something and they say they haven't filed their taxes, you can do a quick review for them, similar to what we did with Aisha, to see what benefits potentially they might be eligible for if they don't already have them. So it's a good way to quickly check and see what they might be missing out on. And remember, we said there was those billions of dollars that are sitting there that haven't been claimed. This might help to illuminate those benefits that someone might be missing. Now, if someone has filed their taxes, they might be disappointed if you go through the tool and there's nothing new for them. But one way you can approach that is if someone has filed their taxes, you can offer the use of the tool as a benefits checkup. So let's make sure that you are receiving all the benefits that you're entitled to and you're not missing anything. So it's more of a checkup rather than a brand new exploration of benefits. And also, too, some people are not really aware that some benefits are gateways. And as David mentioned, you can go in and you can put in benefits that you have, and it's going to show you what other benefits would be open up as a possibility because you have that gateway benefit. So that could be another way to work with a client who already does tax file and who already does have benefits. Also, you can use it in a tax clinic. So say you're having a tax clinic and what we found with some of the food centers that have piloted this tool is that you could have a dedicated staff member or volunteer be your benefits person. And as the person is going through the taxes, and it looks like it could be something that they're missing an opportunity on, for example, OW or DSP, if they have very low income and they're not actually getting that kind of benefit and they're not working, you can direct them either during the tax clinic to that person if the person would like to go and sit down and go through the Benefit Wayfinder with them. Or if you wanted to have it as a follow-up appointment later, separate from the tax clinic, you could offer that as something that if the person interested in, then they can put their name down and then have a staff follow up with them after the fact to come in, maybe when their taxes are completed and they're coming to pick up their package, then they could sit down and go through the tool. So some of the tips that we found if you are going to use this in that way is it's really good to have sort of a dedicated space, a private space to sit down with the person, and you should allot at least an hour to go through it with them. You see that David and I went through it very quickly, but if you're going to have that discussion after when you've gotten that dashboard listing, then it's good to have that time dedicated. Um, Also, it can be a segue to other financial conversations or money discussions. So as you go through this, you might get into then discussions on, budgeting. If someone is going to get a big tax refund, do they know what to do with it? What do they have debt that they're going to need to pay down? And you can work that into a more wholesome, holistic money conversation as well. So I think in the interest of time, so that we'll have time for questions, we'll move on and just quickly discuss some free training that's coming up. So we have a 90-minute interactive workshop for frontline practitioners coming up on March 23rd from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And there's a little link that you'll have when you have a copy of this presentation that you can go to the site and sign up for that. Also, there is some training that does have a little bit of cost. It's $56.50, including HST. And this is called the Foundations of Access to Benefits course. And again, you can click that link to go to there to register. And this will help you gain the essential knowledge that you would need if this is something that you want to do. If you're already doing it, it'll be like a refresher and a little bit deeper dive. If it's new to you, it'll help you understand the skills that you need to help your community members access benefits. It'll take approximately 3 to 4 hours to complete it, and it's all done through self-directed online learning modules, so you can do it at your own convenience. And once you registered, you'll have up to 6 weeks to complete it. And after you finish it, you'll get a certificate of completion. You'll also get a practitioner guide to help support your use of the tool. And you'll also have access to other Prosper Canada training that we have in some of the other financial empowerment topics. At the very end, we do have an email that you can send to us if we don't get to your question today, as well as a dedicated Benefits Wayfinder at prospercanada.org email that you can send with any questions you have on the use of the tool, any suggestions for improving the tool, any missing benefits that you know about that you don't see in there, as well as if you, as I mentioned, any organizations that you would suggest could be added in there as a potential to help people free of charge with help with accessing benefits. So without further ado, I think we can begin if you have any questions. So I'm just going to take a quick peek at the chat here. There was one from Catherine. How does the agency portal compare to what is available on the website for people to use directly? And maybe your question's been answered. You'll see that David had taken you through the Benefits Wayfinder agency portal, and this has additional tools and templates and links to other websites that someone who might be helping somebody else get access to benefits, they can use for their own purposes. So as well, people, if they're going in for themselves, they also can use those same tools. So it's definitely not just for agency staff, but it is uh, if, geared towards having someone who's supporting somebody else. The next question from Sarah, for youth in care involved with child protection, example CAS, and receive financial support, example non-taxable income, what age would you recommend they begin filing taxes? That's a very good question, and you might want to talk to someone who's more familiar with taxes. But I think almost as soon as they can, because as we mentioned, a lot of these benefits you have to have tax filing to be able to access them. They don't necessarily have to be working and earning income to do that. So I'd almost take a look at what the benefit is, and if it's tax filing, then definitely try to get the tax file done. Linda asked, what's the link for the Disability Benefits Compass? Oh, you found it. Thank you. And as I mentioned, you can go back and forth between the Wayfinder and the Compass. Under the Disability Support starting point, there's at the very beginning, there's a link to the Compass, as well as the benefits of the DTC, CPP Disability, and RDSP. Because they are expanded in the Compass, you'll have links to them as well from there. Okay, I'm just skipping the ones where someone's already said they found it. Let's see here.
Did you have a question you would like to ask? I've opened up your mic if you'd like to.
Okay, maybe not. One question that was asked, which it is in the chat, and Jenny did answer it, but in case someone isn't monitoring the chat, it was, will we be sending the presentation to the attendees after the session? And the answer is yes, we will be doing that for all, for everybody. And, Stephen, thank you for your response. In relation to the question that Sarah had about how early to do taxes, Stephen suggested 16 would be the earliest, and the DTC is based off their income from 2 prior years. So thank you, Stephen, for that. Let's see. Question about pension from Annette. Is it beneficial to apply at 60 or 65 and still working full time? I'm assuming you mean the Canada Pension Plan. And this is actually $1 million question that's debated quite often in the realm of the financial world. It really depends on your overall financial situation and how much money you're earning while you're still working full time. Do you need the money early? If you do, are you going to invest it? Or is it going to bring you into a higher tax bracket because it's taxable? So there's many questions. So I don't think there's any definitive answer I can give you for that question, other than you would almost need to sit down with a financial advocate or financial coach or someone at the bank to actually work through the numbers with you on that question, because it can vary so much depending on the person's overall financial situation. Link for the online course or the upcoming training on March. Oh, sorry, Jenny, that's Jenny's. I think that's all the questions I see in the chat. Does anyone want to open up their mic if you have a question? Well, I think we're almost at time. So
we
if
have
you
a question. I'm just opening your mic, Janet. Just a moment. Sorry.
Perfect. No
I
worries.
just have to allow the mic. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you. This is Yithru from Calgary. So thank you so much. This is a great presentation. Actually makes the frontline workers business easier and a smart way of figuring out about the benefits. I'm just trying to ask a question. So is this benefit Wayfinder is limited to the low-income families or something, or it's just open to everyone that is able to use it?
Yeah, so actually the benefit wayfinder, it's open to anybody who is eligible to use it. So it's primarily low income earning people, but it's not just limited to low income. So depending on your situation, you know. So yeah, it's not just low income, it's a bit more than that. So it just depends on your situation. So for instance, if somebody is disabled, and you fall into the eligibility criteria stipulated by the government, then you'll be able to use it, So it's not just for low incomes. When you say low incomes, you kind of tighten it too much. So it's always good that whatever situation you are in, you try and use it and see whether you fall into the eligibility criteria set by the government for the specific kind of benefit you might be trying to assess. I hope that helps.
Oh yeah, thank you, David.
Okay, welcome.
Can I ask a question? This is Nina from Thunder Bay.
For sure, Nina.
I know Jenny, I think Jenny Fulton or other Jenny messaged me that they're going to send the links in the PowerPoint when they're going to share the PowerPoint with the participants. My question was, if there was some training which you get a certificate, you mentioned second last slide, and you can do it in your own time, especially the one, not the one which is on 23rd, but which you can do a period of time in your own flexible time. And then you get a certificate for 5650, but I didn't know it was a deadline date for registration for that. That's my question.
Hi, Nina, it's Jenny. I will follow up with you on that.
Okay.
And I can provide that to you. I've made a note of it, and I'll get you that information ASAP if you'd like. You can also reach out to us at events@prospercanada.org, and I'll follow up and make sure I respond right away for you.
Thank you.
All right.
And it's a great tool. Thank you for sharing with us. So even if, the way somebody asked if it is only for low income, and I agree it is mainly for low income, but I guess it's a good tool for people who are thinking of retiring or people who don't know what are the benefits are available. So it's a good learning resource for community, non-profit organizations too, I guess. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the feedback, and thank you all for joining us today. I know we're at time. We'll check the chat for any questions that we might have not gotten to and include the answers in when we send out the presentation. But again, thank you all so much for joining us today, and we hope that you've learned it. And again, please feel free to send us feedback with any suggestions on the use of the Benefit Wayfinder and the Disability Benefit Compass as you start to use it. And all feedback is most welcome. So have a good rest of your day, and thank you again.